That's all right, it's going good. Hi everyone, I'm Carol Gable, your host of Women in Business, where every week I have the opportunity to introduce you to an inspirational woman in business. And these women are not climbing ladders, nor are they crashing ceilings. They are, however, smashing barriers to their success and inspiring other women to do so. And today I have a special treat for all of you. My guest is Cate Heaman. So
Thank
nice
you.
to have you.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be
Yeah,
here.
so nice.
Yeah, you have no idea how honored I am.
Thank you, thank you. And your company is Prelude Solutions.
It is.
I love the name.
Thank you.
For many reasons.
Yeah.
And I really love the fact that you're a woman-owned business.
I do too.
You know, telecom solutions also. Typically not a female-driven vertical. I mean, it's pretty, way back when you started,
Right.
it was male-driven, you know, right?
Yes. It still may be.
Yeah, yeah.
Technology. Women are trending definitely more in technology, but it's still dominantly male.
It is. I have
is.
some statistics, and I'm in awe of the fact that it didn't matter. You know, it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
You know, you decided, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. I don't, whether I'm a male, a female, it doesn't matter.
No.
You know, you have a goal, passion, you're driven by something that got you here.
Right.
And that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how did you get here? You know, when you were younger, when you were in school, as you were, traveling along that road, who were some of the motivators in your life?
Right, that's a great question. So I would have to say that I watched all of my parents and my grandparents work throughout my entire life. So when my grandmother worked, she worked at Coffers, 5 and dime, right? When,
I love these stories.
Yeah,
This is great.
And my grandfather worked in the coal mines. I'm from Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area.
Wow.
Originally. And then, I watched
Grit.
What's that?
Grit.
Yeah, grit, right. We were middle class. We were working middle class, I came home from school, I was latchkey kid, I waited until my parents came home from work. And so I was constantly around working parents all the time. And they worked hard. And they did play hard too, right? They really did. They made a great living for themselves in that way, right? My mom worked during the day and went to school at night. When I was going for my graduate work, I worked during the day and went for my graduate program at night. Finished it in 2.5 years.
Good for you.
Yeah, right. So
I love that.
I watched. I learned. And then there was a period in my life where my parents divorced, and it was at that ripe age of 13.
Oh, I was thinking 13 in my head.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, that's terrible. But and that's when I said, you fall down, you get back up. You fall down, you get back up. And that was the beginning of that constant. You can do it. Okay, you get disappointed. And I've had many disappointments throughout my life, right? Mm-hmm. But you dust yourself off and you get back up, and that's what I learned. And that was a little self-taught, unfortunately.
I hear you, sister. I definitely hear you.
So I think that that was what was ingrained in me as a younger age, but I up until then, I had really good influences in my life, and I was also, they always drove me to do things that was out of the norm. So I was playing cello and playing the mandolin at very young ages, and
two instruments that are not ordinary.
Right, no.
Right?
No, not ordinary. Yeah, imagine taking the cello on the bus top at that age, right? But they pushed me, and I loved it. And as a matter of fact, I just recently went back. I've played cello throughout the couple of years, but I just recently went back again. My son's 5.5, so there was a little stint, a time where I wasn't active. So now I'm active
I
again.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And it's
know.
great for your kids to see
Yeah.
you do these things, right?
It is.
And that's one thing I've never done. I've never had the luxury of playing an instrument, but I think it's so good for your brain.
It is.
You know, and as you were talking before, I couldn't help but think, I've always had on my desk this little symbol. It's a Chinese symbol. And if you look at it, you cannot tell the difference between adversity and opportunity. The symbol looks one in the same. And when you were speaking before, I could not help but think, you know, we all have adversity.
That's right.
If you're a successful woman in business,
Right.
you have had adversity.
That's right.
But it's the pair of glasses that you put on, right? That you see that adversity as
That's
an
right.
opportunity.
Right.
And I want to go back to that later when we dive a little more into Prelude.
You can get bitter or you can get better.
Exactly. I love
right?
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And you have a choice.
You
know,
do.
you could do the
You
wah
do.
wah, or you could do,
Yep.
you know,
Yep. You
I'm going to
can
brush myself off and keep
Right.
going.
That's right.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm very interested in the path because, you know, technology, it's
Right.
almost, it's problem solving. You know,
Right.
I grew up loving murder mysteries or solving puzzles. You know,
Right.
I'm always the one that wants to put the pieces in the jigsaw puzzle, you know, staying up and
Right.
doing that. And I look at technology in some of the companies as, you know, you being a real problem solver. And in
That's
order
right.
to do that, you
no.
cannot let adversity affect you.
No.
Because you can't solve the
Right.
problem.
You have to be solution driven. Right?
Yes.
You always have to be in the solution.
And you have to be creative. You have
That's
to
right.
be creative enough to say,
Yep.
it isn't a cookie cutter model, right?
No.
So I think, you know, your background lends itself to what you're doing now. You know, that you had grace, you know,
Right.
you had a little grit. And I'm sure right now you have
Grace
some,
is one of my favorite
right?
things.
You
Grace
have to be
is-
graceful under
you-
pressure,
You have
right?
to have grace. Do it with grace.
And grit, you know, to keep
Yeah.
going. And then the gratitude, you know, to look back and say thank you. You know, thank you for those that helped you along the way, right? So as you know, went to school and entered into the workforce, I'm sure there were mentors there that said, hey, Cate,
Right.
you know, I got your back.
Yeah, and when I first entered into the workforce, so I had mentioned I went for my master's. It was in community counseling and human relations from Villanova University.
Really?
Yes. So I spent my first part of my first career was in counseling, and it was vocational counseling for workers' compensation. So I was helping people get back to work. Okay. And then I said, I want to be in sales. And I took this leap. Went to a search company, and I took this leap of faith. And I got hired by a company called ATX, which I knew nothing about telecom sales. And this woman, Miriam Eisman, who I'm friendly with today, as a matter of fact, I just had lunch with her. We just recently had lunch. Not we have to get back in lunch, but she was my first mentor, and she was my boss and my mentor, and she guided me and another. Good friend of mine still, who's also in technology sales today. She has her own company as well, and we partner on some solutions.
Wow.
But yeah, she helped, you know, pave the way. She was a working mother. She had just had 2 children, and she was one of the top salespeople at this organization for many years. And then she became a manager. And I just got her right when she started managing, you know, a team, and we had a team of like 12. And you know, she just taught us, and she was hard. She was determined to make sure that her team was going to be number one, and she helped us she turned us into telecommunications consultants and now entrepreneurs.
We have to take a break.
Yeah.
However, when we come back, I really want to weave the golden thread, because a few of the things that you said, no matter who sits here that's successful in business, they have this golden thread. So I know you want to know what that is, so you'll have to come back. See you soon.
Add us on social media to watch bloopers, behind the scenes footage, previews, and more.
Excuse me, Medicare coverage can be a very confusing and complicated process. Help is just a phone call away, 856-226-4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no obligation Medicare benefits consultation, 856-226-4800.
Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
This is how we do it. Hippity hop.
Casinos by the ocean.
Hippity hop.
Now that's New Jersey. 130 miles of beautiful beaches. Solid rock. And everything in between.
Look in the window.
Now that's New Jersey.
Burlington County College.
Is now Rowan College at Burlington County.
Still the same great faculty.
At a community college ranked top 50 in the nation.
Basically, we earn more and pay less.
RCBC students are accepted at Rowan University after graduation.
And get a bachelor's degree for around $30,000.
Online and Mount Laurel students get a 15% Rowan University tuition discount.
And have many scholarship opportunities.
So you earn more and pay even less.
Rowan College at Burlington County.
Your path to success.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to strengthen our service members? What does it take to let them know that we stand behind them, wherever they are? What does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? And what does it take to prepare them for their future when their service to the nation is complete? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Share a message today at force.uso.org.
I want to be a contender. I want a warm belly to sleep on.
A big house.
How do I look? Do I look good?
I want to play hard.
My nails done once a month.
I want.
I want.
I want a home.
I just want a home. I want someone to love.
Last year, more than 30,000 companion animals came to us without homes. 20,000 of them were felines. Let's make some homes together.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Women in Business with my guest, Cate Heaman. Thanks so much, Cate, for joining me again. Now we get into the good stuff,
Yes.
you know. So I talked about the golden thread, and almost every successful woman in business that sits here, the golden thread is, number one, it wasn't easy. They did not grow up with a silver spoon. You know, you said grandma worked at the, five and dime store.
Sure.
And you were working at a burger place.
Right, I worked at McDonald's and two other places all at the same time, seasonal places. Yeah, Jack Frost and Whitewater Challengers.
I love it. And you remember, right? You remember those.
Of course I remember.
Yes, 3 jobs at one time.
Yeah.
So, willing to work hard. Another thing you mentioned was, I knew nothing about technology, but I was determined I was going to learn.
I did.
So your mom and dad instilled that can-do attitude,
we can do
right?
it.
Yeah, and you believed them, right? That's part of it. Somebody tells you something, but you have to believe it.
Right.
So you believed it, and then you continued. And somewhere along the line, there was a cheerleader, Miriam, that said, you know what, Cate, I'm gonna be rooting for you, but it's gonna take hard work.
Right.
It is not easy.
No.
And you have to be willing to continue doing it afraid.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
But at the end of the day, it's much better than inertia.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So what I love also was telling me about how you go into these companies and talk a little bit more about Prelude Solution and women-owned. As we said, it's not a typical male-dominated industry. But that's okay. I mean, I think also your background in counseling really lends itself for sales.
Right.
Because sales is really figuring out what somebody wants and needs, not giving them what you think they need.
No.
So your background is so conducive for what you do.
I have to listen and learn. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And as a trusted advisor, going into various companies, and you have a specific target. Let's talk a little bit about that. Okay. Who your target audience is.
Yeah, I mean, our target audience is anyone that's looking to migrate their technology, honestly. So, I mean, I would take a location that only has, 50 people, as long as they want to take and change their technology. If they're looking to do that and they want a trusted advisor to do that, Prelude will do that. There will not be any savings in that scenario, but we will take on the opportunity to help them grow, and so they don't have to. That's a lot of time for them to go out and research that and do that themselves. So we're now giving them that 60% time back into their project, right?
Right. Which is worth a lot of money.
It's a lot of money,
So there is savings,
and they have
really.
And they have us as a trusted advisor, and we do all of that work for them. We vet out the best. We bring them the best solution. We do the demos, and we bring that full circle all the way around to where the bill is correct.
Yes.
Right? So we're checking the bill because we are bringing the solution. We want to make sure it's right. And then they're going to come to us for other opportunities if they have a question. So maybe they grow, right?
Yes,
Which
that's what I'm thinking.
Right, they're going to grow.
Yes.
They're going to grow, right? But in the savings world of things where we're most successful, you really have to have multiple locations. You have to have at least 100 people. Maybe they have 100 cell phones or more. That's where we're really going.
Volume.
That's where we're going to be the most successful when it comes to that percentage of savings that I talked about, that 33% or better in savings, and we're doing that all day long, right? When it comes to that perfect target market, if that scenario, as a matter of fact, we just had a customer just recently where they saved $275,000 in savings over their account.
Wow.
Yep.
That's more than $250,000.
Yeah, they have
That's a
4
real
locations, 300 some people. But that's your perfect scenario. So if you have that, please let us know.
Definitely.
But
let her know.
But so back to being women-owned, right? We are also able to provide that diversity and inclusion part to every single business, which that is
love that.
That is one of the. If you're not talking about diversity and inclusion in an organization, you're in trouble. Okay. I mean, I know a pharma company that just recently literally stopped all of their meetings for 4 hours and put on a PowerPoint about diversity and inclusion. A large pharma company, and that's what they did. All hands on deck, we're doing this, everybody tune in, this is what we're having, this is what we're talking about. So, and I'm passionate about it because I really, I think it's important. We have to include everyone. There is diversity, there is inclusion. And guess what? By the way, by using women-owned, you get these tax breaks, right?
Yes, oh yes.
State, local, and government, right? There is an actual incentive to be working with us on top of it.
And a possible contract down the road, right?
That's right.
So,
and we're registered within all of the main companies that are part of WIB.
Yes,
right?
Yes, and that's your certification for women out there that don't understand.
Right.
Women-owned, certification, just briefly.
WIB, right?
Yeah.
Right. And that certification is very, I'm going to say it's very, very easy to get. And I mean this because if you just follow, there's a link, you go on to the link and you apply. And it takes, and that's the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I'm really helping other women to become certified. I now have about 6 to 7 months under my belt. And part of my mission is to help other women become women-owned and certified. So it's a link. it's a 6 months process once you start it. So you have 6 months to complete the application and hit all of the targets that you need to hit. And then I help them. I send them a spreadsheet of what they need to do within this time frame with the link and all of the upcoming events. Because once you register, you are allowed to start going to the events. And I had my first protege. She just earned her certification last week. She's actually, we do business together. She does a lot of my marketing. And when she called me, she was so excited. She's like, I got it. I'm like, awesome.
Tell
Michelle.
Everybody who it is.
It's Michelle Martinez from Make Your Mark.
Hey,
yeah, she's my
good
she's my
going,
first.
Michelle.
Yeah, she was my I'm like, have you done it? And that's awesome. But she's not the only. I mean, I'm telling you that when I meet women, I immediately ask them, "Are you women-owned?" And
I can hear it in your voice.
And if you're not, and then I'm like, "Let me tell you how you can do this."
Oh, it's so great.
Yes.
And I also think
I am very passionate
I
about it.
love
I'm like
it.
almost out of breath. I'm like, I
love
gotta do it. You gotta do it.
But here's the thing: a lot of women don't know it even exists, right?
And it's they don't.
Yeah, we'll be doing a seminar at the College of New Jersey, and I'm going to invite you, and I'll invite Michelle.
Yes.
And you
Please
come, and you could be a story, of you did it, you got certified, and then you're mentoring somebody else to follow in your footsteps, and that's essentially what we do, right?
Right, exactly.
Or what we should be doing. Not being so diverse and being in those silos where we're not helping one another. I love that you say diversity and inclusion in the same sentence.
Yeah.
A lot of women will think, oh, I'm a Latina woman, I'm an African American woman, I'm a millennial woman, I'm a veteran woman.
Right.
And that's great.
They're all
right. We all have strengths and weaknesses.
You're a person.
Right.
You are a person.
I am Jane.
Right. Yeah.
And and that's where I'm going with this. The Me Too movement is fine, but we need to be inclusive. We need to work together and separate those labels and go towards one mission, right? If we're all going towards one mission. So I love that you combine that together. I also want to talk a little bit about your team. We really haven't mentioned people that work with you because you can't do it alone. You have a team. So let's give a shout out to some of the people that you work with.
Well, first of all, my team is incredible. I'm very passionate. Some of the team members, while this company that I have, this is my second company, this one's only going on its third year. I was lucky to migrate the consulting out of a previous business.
Go back. So this is your second company, which is amazing,
Thank
right?
you,
so
thank you,
let's give credit where credit's due.
Yep.
The first company?
The first company was mainly a hardware and software company, and I sold off the hardware software company, my portion of it. There's still that company still exists.
Great.
So that's still
a stepping stone for you, right?
That's right. And then I took the consulting out of that company, and so I have some of the members that have been with me for 10 years, 6 years. Brent Jones is the vice president of operations now, and Andy Pierce, he's been with me, and I've got Krista and Tracy, and Terry, and there's a whole number of us. What's great about our organization is how we're set up right now. So we have almost a front end that's Prelude. And then we now have this back end that we've been working on just over the last couple of months, where it's about 35 specialists in every area. So we just need to know who to go to, and then we've got a whole team behind that of one organization is 2,000 people specifically. So I can broker 250 back end solutions for my customers. I don't do that many, of course. I only bring the top 5.
But you have the ability.
But so those 35 specialists, right, are the specialists that tell us, okay, here's the scorecard for our customer, and here's what we need, and then we're able to bring in that whole team, and it's a great model, and we're growing at the front end, right? So we're growing rapidly, actually.
Congratulations. I speaking of rapidly, our time is up. This is the worst part of the show, you know, 'cause
Yeah.
we just get going and then I have to say goodbye.
Oh.
But I'm just so proud of you. I want to say that. And
Oh,
your
thank
team,
you.
I mean, that's incredible because you
Yeah.
can't do it alone. You know,
No,
you had
oh my gosh, I better not. And I better
Grandma.
not be the smartest person on my team. I'll say that too. I better not be.
But you're
I've got smart people.
the engine. You know,
Yeah.
you are definitely the engine and the heartbeat. You know,
Yeah.
and it's just great. So congratulations to you, and let our audience know where to find you.
Oh yeah, so you can find me at info@preludesolutions.com, and go to our website. There's a contact us page, and we'd be happy to talk with anybody. Anybody that's also looking for opportunities in Prelude too. We're currently looking. Yeah, so please, if
Did you hear that?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot going on here. I hope everybody was listening. I just think that's fantastic.
Thank
and,
you.
know,
And thank you so
kudos
much.
to you. I know we'll be working
this
together.
It's my favorite topic.
Yeah,
you can tell.
I know. And I love it too. I love working with women and, mentoring, but also learning from them. You came by today and taught me a thing or two about technology and, just a fantastic journey that you took. So good for you. And thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining me, Women in Business. And I want all of you to have a great weekend, and I'll see you again next Friday. Take care, everybody.